What if the final moment Jesus shared with his disciples was not a goodbye, but a beginning? What if the story of Jesus didn't end with him leaving the earth, but with his presence expanding beyond one place? What if the ascension was not about distance, but about purpose? After everything the disciples had witnessed, the cross, the empty tomb, the resurrection appearances, Jesus led them out of Jerusalem toward Bethany. The city behind them was still full of tension, memories, and unanswered questions. Ahead of them was uncertainty. But walking with Jesus one last time, they didn't fully understand what was about to happen. Luke tells us that Jesus lifted up his hands and blessed them. This detail matters. His final gesture was not instruction, correction, or warning. It was blessing. Open hands. A posture of giving, not taking. The one who had been betrayed, denied, and crucified chose to leave his followers with blessing. And while he was blessing them, he was taken up into heaven. There was no drama described, no loud command, no fear, just a quiet, holy separation. Jesus was lifted up, and the disciples watched him go. The same Jesus who had walked dusty roads with them, eaten meals with them, and shared their sorrow was now ascending beyond their sight. This moment could have felt like loss all over again, but it didn't. Instead of panic, Luke tells us they worshipped him. Instead of grief, they were filled with great joy. And instead of scattering in fear, they returned to Jerusalem with expectation. That reaction tells us something powerful. The ascension was not experienced as abandonment. It was understood as fulfillment. To understand why, we need to slow down and look at what the ascension truly means. Jesus did not ascend because he was finished caring. He ascended because his mission had reached a new phase. During his earthly ministry, his presence was limited by place and time. He could be with some, but not all. Now, through the Spirit, his presence would reach everywhere. The ascension is not Jesus stepping away from humanity. It is Jesus taking his place as Lord over it. Luke emphasizes that Jesus led the disciples out. He did not vanish suddenly, leaving them confused. He prepared them. He reminded them of the scriptures. He promised the power of the Holy Spirit earlier. He made sure they understood that what came next would not depend on their strength. This matters because the disciples were not strong yet. They still remembered their failures. Peter remembered his denial. Others remembered running away. None of them felt qualified to represent the risen Christ to the world. And yet Jesus entrusted them with the mission anyway. That is the pattern of God's work. He does not wait for perfection. He calls people into growth. The ascension confirms that Jesus' work on earth was complete, but his work through his followers was just beginning. He had fulfilled the law and the prophets. He had suffered, risen, and revealed himself. Now the message would move outward, from Jerusalem to Judea to Samaria and to the ends of the earth. The disciples didn't fully grasp how this would happen. They only knew that Jesus was alive, exalted, and still involved. That knowledge changed how they waited. Luke says they stayed continually in the temple, praising God. This is a striking detail. The temple was once a place of fear for Jesus' followers. Now it became a place of worship. Waiting was no longer anxious, it was expectant. The Ascension teaches us that waiting is not wasted time when it is filled with trust. Too often we think of waiting as delay or silence. But in God's story, waiting is often preparation. The disciples did not rush into action on their own terms. They waited for the promise of the Father, and in that waiting, their fear softened into faith. Another important truth emerges here. Jesus ascended with a physical body. The resurrection body did not disappear or dissolve. Humanity was taken into heaven. This means that our physical existence matters to God. The ascension affirms the value of creation, not its rejection. Jesus did not escape the world, he redeemed it. And now, seated in authority, he continues to intercede, guide, and reign. The Ascension tells us that Jesus is not distant. He is active in a different way. His presence is no longer limited, and his mission is no longer centered on one location. For the disciples, this changed their identity. They were no longer just followers, they were witnesses. Witnesses do not need to have all the answers. They only need to speak truthfully about what they have seen and experienced. The disciples had seen death defeated. They had experienced forgiveness. They had received peace where fear once lived. That was enough. The Ascension also redefines power. Jesus did not ascend as a political conqueror or military leader. He ascended as the crucified and risen Lord. His authority was rooted in love, sacrifice, and obedience. This challenges how we think about success and leadership today. True authority, in the way of Christ, flows from humility and faithfulness, not control. As the disciples watched Jesus disappear from their sight, angels later reminded them that he would return. This moment bridges past and future. The Ascension looks back to the resurrection and forward to the hope of restoration. It tells us that history is not random. It is moving toward completion. And in the meantime, believers are not left alone. The Holy Spirit would soon come, empowering ordinary people to carry an extraordinary message. The Ascension invites us to live between promise and fulfillment. We live in a world where Jesus reigns, yet brokenness still exists, where hope is real, yet waiting continues. The disciples' response shows us how to live in this tension, with worship, joy, and trust. They did not cling to the sky. They returned to their calling. This is important. Faith is not about escaping the world. It is about engaging it with hope. The Ascension does not pull believers upward away from responsibility. It sends them outward with purpose. Every act of love, every moment of courage, every word of truth becomes part of that mission. The story of Jesus ascending is not meant to make us feel small or distant. It is meant to assure us that God's plan is bigger than what we can see, that Christ reigns even when circumstances feel unstable, that the story is still unfolding. For the disciples, joy replaced confusion, worship replaced fear, waiting replaced rushing, and all of it began with trust. That same invitation stands today, to trust when clarity is incomplete, to worship when answers are still forming, to wait with hope rather than anxiety. The Ascension reminds us that Jesus is not absent. He is exalted, and because he lives and reigns, the mission continues through those willing to walk in faith. Thank you for watching this video on Holy Path Insights. If this reflection encouraged you or deepened your understanding, please like the video, follow the channel, and share it with others. Your support helps spread timeless truth and hope to hearts around the world.